Welcome student in today's class. Our topic is from threat to territory. In this chapter we are going to learn how a British company that came to India for trade purpose went on to acquire territories and establish an empire and that ruled India for more than 200 years. This is what we are going to learn in this chapter. So let's start with this. The end of Mughal Empire. Aurangzeb was the last powerful ruler of Mughal. He established control over a very large part of the territory that is now known as India. After his death, none of the ruler was that much powerful, and many Mughal governors and big Jamindar began asserting their authority and establishing regional kingdom. As a result of that, many powerful regional kingdoms emerged in various parts of India, and Delhi could no longer function as an effective center. By the end of the second half of the 18th century, a new power was emerged on the political horizon of India, that was the British. And British came to India as a trading company. Same as that many other trading company of different countries of Europe came to India. So let's have a brief description on that. Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese explorer who discovered a sea route to India in 1498, he went to the harbor of Calicut, which is now known as Calicut on the Malabar coast. There they set up first trading posts. After the Portuguese, Dutch leader came at Pulicat in 1595. Then came British, who landed at Surat in 1608. After that, Danish came to Tranquebar in Tamil Nadu in 1616, and last the French came to Pondicherry in 1664. They all were collectively known as European traders. Now, let us understand how the British arrived in India. East India Company come east. That means East India Company of Britain come to east. So they came to India. As I said, what we all are interested is this coming of English people in India. So let's know that. It all started in 1600. The English company acquired a charter from Queen Elizabeth I. Charter means a written legislative paper of a country. So Queen Elizabeth I signed a paper where she gave the English the individual right to trade with eastern countries. And with this charter, company went to the eastern side through sea route, looking for a new land from where they could buy goods at cheaper price and carry them back to Europe to sell at higher prices. So basically what they want is to make huge profit. But there were already European traders arrived in India. That means Britain was not alone. Britain had no competitor from English company had no competitor from their country, but they had to compete with other countries, and everyone had same interest. There came the big problem. All of these European companies were interested in buying the same product, that was the fine quality silk and cotton. Apart from this, they were also interested in spice. These all had a huge market demand in Europe. So they all had a plan to take it back to Europe so that they can make a huge profit. And now we understand that Britain was not alone. There are other in the competition. And seeing this demand in Indian market, traders who were selling these goods to them increased the prices of goods. So European traders were thinking to eliminate their competitors. So they are fighting among themselves, and they even fortified their trading posts, and they try to maximize profit in a foreign location. That is how they started their companies in India. Next, we have a picture here. Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese explorer who had discovered the sea route to India in 1498. And now next we have East India Company begins trade in Bengal. So how East India Company start trade in Bengal? Let's know that first. The first English factory was set up near the bank of River Hooghly in 1651. And that was a very important step of East India Company. And now they actually built the fully equipped factory with warehouses to stock their supplies and also offices where company officials to sit. That's how trade expanded, and as the trade expanded, the company persuaded merchants and traders to come and settle near the factory. And by 1696, it began building a fort around the settlement. 2 years later, in 1698, it bribed Mughal officials into giving company jamindari right in 3 villages. One of the village was Calicut, which is now known as Kolkata. Keeping in mind the Mughal emperor during that time was Aurangzeb, the English also persuaded Aurangzeb to issue a farman. So what's a farman? Farman is a royal order, like how the English acquire a charter in the beginning from the queen. So a farman is similar to that. So with this farman, company was granted duty-free trade, and they have to pay tribute to the emperor. Next we have how trade led to battles. Let's know how trade led to battles. Here we have three powerful rulers of Bengal: Murshid Quili Khan, Alivardi Khan, and Sriraj ud Dowla. The early 18th century, the conflict between the company and the Nawab of Bengal intensified. What were the reasons? The reason for this were company was not paying taxes regularly. English company was expanding their fortification, and they were causing huge revenue loss of Bengal, and they were disrespecting Nawab's administration. These were some of the important reasons for conflict between the company and Nawab of Bengal. After the death of Aurangzeb, Bengal Nawab asserted their power and autonomy as other regional power were doing at that time. And Murshid Quili Khan was the first powerful Nawab of Bengal. He became Nawab of Bengal from 1717 to 1727. He was also the first Nawab of Bengal and also the strong ruler. And I also told you that company was doing unfair trade as tax-free trade, and it was causing huge revenue loss to Bengal. Now this was a serious concern for Murshid Quili Khan because he was a Nawab and ruler of Bengal. Naturally, this behavior of company made Nawab angry. So the Nawab had to show who is the real boss, and this led to the serious conflict between company and Nawab of Bengal. Murshid Quili Khan was died in 1727. After him, Alivardi Khan became the Nawab of Bengal in 1740. And he was also giving attention to rebuilding of Bengal and died in 1756. And third strong ruler of Bengal was Sriraj ud Dowla. He was the grandson of Alivardi Khan. He became the Nawab of Bengal in 1756, soon after the death of Alivardi Khan, who was his maternal grandfather. He was not like the behavior of English company and the way of trade, and he wanted to do something about the situation because the company was depriving of a huge amount of revenue and undermining the authority of Nawab. And this led to conflict between Nawab and the English East India Company. So the Nawab refused to grant this company concession, demand a large tribute for the company's right to trade, and deny it any right to mint coins and stop it from extending its fortification. Then the company was also convinced that to expand trade, it had to enlarge its settlement and buy up villages and rebuilding forts. So the conflict led the famous Battle of Plassey in 1757. So let's know in detail about the Battle of Plassey. After the death of Alivardi Khan, as I said, Sriraj ud Dowla became the Nawab of Bengal. The company was worried about his power and keen on a puppet ruler who would willingly give them trade concession and other privileges. And infuriated Sri Rajauddaula asked the company to stop meddling in the political affairs of his kingdom, stop fortification, and pay the revenue. And after negotiation failed, the Nawab sent 30,000 soldiers to the East Factory and captured the English officials and locked the warehouses and blocked the English sea. So this was the beginning of this Battle of Plassey. Battle of Plassey, British defeated Sri Rajauddaula with the help of Mir Jafar. This battle laid the foundation of the British Empire. So let's know in detail about this. The British army was vastly outnumbered, consisting of 800 Europeans and 2,200 Indians. The Nawab had an army of about 50,000. The British General Robert Clive arrived in the scene. Let's know how he arrived in this. As I said, Robert Clive arrived in the scene, and let's know how he arrived in this scene. As this news of attacking East India Company by Sri Rajauddaula was sent immediately to the company official in Madras, and then they sent naval fleet under the command of Robert Clive. And Robert Clive was the officer in company at that time. He was a lieutenant colonel. Finally, in 1757, Robert Clive led company's army against Sri Rajauddaula at Plassey. Plassey is a place near to Murshidabad, which was the capital of the Nawab of Bengal. So, what Robert Clive did was he played politics and made an agreement with Mir Jafar, who was Sri Rajauddauła's commander. Clive had promised to make him Nawab after crushing Sri Rajauddaula. As a result, the English company won the Battle of Plassey because Mir Jafar took away large troop of soldiers from battlefield. Sri Rajauddaula was fled away but later captured and assassinated, and it was the first major victory of company in India. So Battle of Plassey was the most decisive war that marked the initiation of British rule in India for the next 2 centuries. And Battle of Plassey or Plassey took place between British East India Company and the Nawab of Bengal and his friends allies. The battle occurred on June 23, 1757 at Plassey, Murshidabad district. On the bank of Bhagirathi River, Murshidabad, Sri Rajauddaula was defeated. The army commander Mir Jafar of Sri Rajauddauła's side betrayed in the Battle of Plassey, and thereby the whole force of Nawab collapsed, and as a consequence the entire province of Bengal came under British. So the Battle of Plassey was a major victory of British in India. So let us end here for today's topic, and remaining topic will be discussed in next class. Thank you.